Right. I'm just going to pick straight back up from where I left off. Never had this happen before, but my cursor project, sorry, no, my cursor SQLite absolutely corrupted, which was stopping me from shutting everything down and restarting it. So anyway, I've managed to sort that out. So I'm just picking up where I left off from the previous stream, because I didn't know how long this was actually going to take to resolve. But yeah, that's now fixed, so we can kind of like crack on with where we left off. Really hindered the progress, but I'm hoping that I can probably try and bash out another 1 to 2 hours of work in steering this, and kind of just pick up where cool. So this was the handoff that we were left with, and I'm hoping that this break hasn't kind of just corrupted everything to the nth degree. So the first thing I actually want to do is trigger all the hooks. Just telling it to go into the right folder. So into the Axle pit. Yeah, so I'm just instructing the agent to go into the Axle cockpit, trigger all of the hooks that it needs to, and then from here we'll be able to kind of just confirm that everything is firing up that should be. Permission, yes. And while this is loading, I did have a peer review. No, all of the peer review windows would actually closed, which is good that we did all of that. Also the branch slice governance. So it's just inspecting this. However, we've got another session here. Of current state overwritten. One log line appended. A temporary working file handoff. Okay, cool. So I want to just make sure that we've got the right handoff for the slice work that we were going to do, because we needed to revise a couple of the items in the slice, and then just review what impact this would have on the spec and the main logic, because obviously here we've got the head commit ready for spec, life is not frozen yet. So cool. So I just want to just make sure that that's all picked up where it needs to be. So I'm going to trigger a new session, and then ask it to project cd bit. just so that we can make those decisions as well. Just quickly authorize this. Handoff. Locating the right handoff for that. So now where are we with this? So the hook verification harness. So all of this is passed. So all the hooks are running. Green, the baseline's confirmed. Blah blah blah. Hook skipped. Axle hook verify. Pass. Yes. Let's quickly give this authority as well. I'll keep this open just for reference as well. For now, I don't want to. There's no need for me to. There's no need for me to close it just yet. Cool. So it's found the handoff. It's loaded the handoff and it's reading it, which is good. Right, so where are we now? So the isolated lifestyle, so the native git hook block the real git commit on the master, the strongest possible proof. Now the second half of the commit slice branch, post ship blocking. So test 6 perfect, test 7 correctly aborted. Also, yeah, just want to make sure that it's doing all of these things, because obviously we did lock it to a certain degree, but I want to make sure that all of the branches from here on out are actually working in the correct places, and it's all defined by slides. So all 3 project skills are validated for. Okay, cool. So to get all of this done. And then now I'm just quickly checking what these implications are. If we change how the nodes behave, what are we actually impacting from our original spec and our original plan document? So head is now commit, blah blah blah. There's implications for the lockdown spec slices 1 to 4. Nothing frozen has to move. Great. This is the key finding, and the peer review verified against the actual code, which is good. So it's the expected no count untouched, the expected similar edges untouched, although slices 1 to 4 stay green. Great. The implications for the plan docs. So this is where the real work and the real risk lives. So the 3 docs are now out of sync with the reality, which is just, I guess they're just the planning documents, aren't they? So 1, the slice 5 possibilities for Curried River, I don't know why it calls it that, but the authority steering document, the blocker, still asserts things this session empirically killed. So the clique premise false. So the clique premise false. The code builds a star, so an anchor node, and then chronological paths off it, not a clique or a cluster. Oh, sorry, the clutter is localized to an anchor node. 14 links on the day cards every 3, not every message. The hub spoke kills the edge explosion. Proof a juggle plugin consumption path prototype and rejected feels off. Demoted to a native hub map. Missing is everyone under the dangerous implication. If you freeze the spec for this doc from this doc as is, the frozen contract inherits a false rationale and vacations. The slice honestly shrank. The slice honestly shrank. 2 of the 3 original pillars died. No hairball, no conversion, no lock is actually broken. The implication is entirely documentary. You'd freeze you'd be freezing real safe spec onto rationale and gate invariant that are verified false. Fix the doc first, then the freeze is clean and want me to rewrite. Okay, so let's rewrite. Should we rewrite or should we? No, let's actually invoke. Let's invoke the new grill me. Let's trigger the. In fact, let's get into plan mode. So I've just clicked Shift and Tab, enter in plan mode rather than execute, so that it doesn't get trigger happy and start trying to build things. Let's actually map out what we actually want the functionality to be. So there are a couple of issues here. We've changed the approach. We've tested, we trialed the new node setup, which didn't work. I didn't really like how that was behaving. Excuse me. I didn't like how that was behaving. So what I want to do now is implement, not implement, I want to apply the new skill that we built on top of the grill me, which allows it, well, not allows it, which has synchronized it and attached it to my Perplexity account. So then we can kind of trigger off and search for any kind of other fits that skill didn't have before. So we'll go do the deeper research in that sense, and then come back and kind of just see if there's a new way that we can approach it that Claude didn't have access to before. So let's trigger the grill me. In finished that. Go back. Hey, when that happens, let's trigger the new grill me skill, the one that Perplexity baked in, the one with Perplexity baked in, to explore other approaches to the code. See commitments. Yeah. See what that looks like. So now we're going to plan and stress test the upfront before spec freeze, but before I ground the anchors, blah blah blah. Locked stack confirmed, offline deterministic, blah blah. Warning me of. Okay, so the Perplexity doctor is warning. What is it warning of? Login browser direct preset left. To ignore, verify encryption. See. Enable tool live search 15 sources and okay, cool. At least it is working open extension in fresh. What do you mean? The one-time browser login from your memory note still hasn't been done. The research, what did it say? The research will work. It just won't have the pro account behind it. I'll proceed and flag any branches where that matters. Say the word and yeah, no, we need to do this. Or yeah, I'd rather log in first. No, let's log in first because it's long term. So we want to log in first, have everything and grill the navigation based off of what something that's working. I don't want to skip ahead. So I want this to trigger the authentication. I'll log in and then I want it to use the connectors that we've already built. And then yeah, that should be good to go. So it's login interactive, runs on the dashboard. Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Screens so that I'm not exposing myself online. So here's the situation. I don't know right now. Yep. Enter the one-time password from your inbox. Good now. Yeah, of course. Why would I not? Go ahead and log in now. You know what? I've actually got a feeling that it was Perplexity that was actually messed up my thing. I've genuinely got a feeling that it was Perplexity because I'm looking at this now and the way that this is hanging, exactly what was happening before. So something. Anyway, quickly get rid of this. Yeah, test. The doctor shows authentication is the one thing that the doctor flagged is relevant. definitely logged in and authentic. What is the issue here? Okay, cool. So that's all logged in and authenticated, which is fine. The leftover sessions be the doctor. So that's actually completed. It returned logged in true. Fine, because it did pop up on my account. But then this is still output in as failed on this front. Weird. So I'm gonna just quickly resolve that. And then yeah. It is graceful kill session start in temporary directories, clean up graceful session and network check probe for the large full hybrid. Okay, cool. So at least we can crack on now with the testing. Not the testing, sorry. The planning. Brilliant. So then now, this is now going to start asking us questions based off of a bit more thorough research. We're using Perplexity rather than just relying on Claude kind of asking us closed off questions. We've got the best search tool and deep research tool available now to our skill. And we've connected all of that. So now we've got a 3-tier skill that we're calling on to grill us on our ideation. And then we've connected that skill to an MC, to Perplexity. And now to give it that really robust internet search to go away. And yeah, give us a bit more targeted responses. So, still the unanswered root. My concern stands. The slice retreated to a readable conversation hub after the hairball and juggle died, but the North Star is resurface and connect ideas and read one thread top to bottom is something that you can already do by reopening the original chat. I want to confirm what this is readable. So my recommendation is read one thread cleanly. Is the right primary, but the reason the concurrent plan undersells and the research backs this across current Obsidian practice, the consensus and the number one pattern for large imported chat vault is the MOC hub nodes as stable human entry layer, and the graphs view explicitly demote another primary so hubs as entries the receiving connect and cross conversation links live on the message as you read, so you don't have to choose Okay, so confirm the primary navigation job for Fly 5 that fixes the centerpiece before we explore the alternatives. So the thread, read thread as the back, so the red thread as the backbone. Confirm that the current direction hub as a readable thread is the primary entry layer. This message matches the proven Obsidian MOC practice, and the connect rides inside via the per message number of related graphs stays a secondary diagnostics map. When we then harden the missing top tree key to connect is actually primary. No, and this is both co-equal. Treat the readable hubs and the cross-conversation connection surface as two first-class deliverables for the slice. It's a bigger scope. risks violating the small vertical slice. I'd push back on this. No, so we did the first one is okay. Let's see what we can do and what it's good that it's encouraging me not to change the plan documents, and I think we want to go down the route where we're not having to change the spec, but hopefully we can get to a happy medium where we either frame or position or tag the messages slightly differently to then achieve what we need to achieve in a more meaningful manner. So question 2, the missing top tree should slice 5 generate a global index of hubs. Here's the gap. The current plan builds n or x number per conversation hubs, but nothing that ties them together. So once a slice 5 ships, how do we actually reach a thread? Only by scrolling the conversations folder in the file explorer or via the graph. A per conversation hub is a mid-level MOC. There's no top level MOC. So should slice 5 add a generated top level index of conversation hubs? That's the missing entry point. And at what scope? So a minimal index. So add 1 generated conversation index listing all of the hubs and wiki links grouped by project, which is what I wanted. Recency sorted, static markdown, and deterministic. Rendered only, or written functions, and complete reds backbone. No index, hubs only. Keep the slice strictly per conversation per hub. Role clarity at 5 conversations that file explore. Index richer grouping. Index plus richer grouping. Add an index. Add the index and make it richer. E.g., a multiple group view by project, by recency window, by tag. Maybe recency recently active section. More value but more scope. By eye service flirts with gold plating. I actually prefer this because the minimal index, I think it's only I like this. I like the index and richer grouping. But there is something I want to flag. So index plus grouping, but still see didn't see that. I couldn't see for a sec that you guys couldn't see what I can see. Oh, and then now this is the beauty of adding perplexity to this grill me section, because now you can see where I've added a layer of complexity where it needs to actually think a bit harder. And it's automatically invoking perplexity, going off and doing the research with regards to what's out there and what's available, and the output for the readable chat transcript Obsidian calls. Call outs are usually the best choice and whatever else. and then that will help it steer the next session for me as well. Confirm the role clarity and the embedded redesign easily. So what do we actually want? Call out plus section embed. So recommended questions, which is me, quote, which is the assistant's call out, native colors, no CSS, call outs plus all notes embed. Call outs, we'll do this one. Go for the recommended. Results showing the hub cleanly once. The fix that the research gives is use section targeted embed, so the message turn to keep the up link related below the outside and the embedded heading range. Result, the hub shows each turn. Okay, this is good. Question 3, the call out section targeted embed, clean once. Role perplexity is doing its thing again. To have a look at what plugins are available. Obsidian Bases does not create a real note to note graph link or backlinks in the same way that wiki links do. It's a database like view layer over the notes file and their properties or front matter, with the views stored separately in a .base file. Okay, cool. So the decisive finding: your locked stack instinct is vindicated. Obsidian Bases, so like a data view, does not create it's a view layer over frontline. The researcher's own conclusion: use a script generated static mock when you want the index itself to participate in the background. That's exactly your architecture. Both modern shortcuts and data view bases trade away the graphs. I want to trade away the graphs. The one thing that the whole project exists to build. So reject both and generate a static markdown. No better fitment there. Your spine already is the best fitment. How much rich? Okay, so now let me scope the bound richer so that it doesn't sprawl. Your golden rule. It's annoying. How rich should generated index be? One unstated caveat: your grouping dimensions today are recency slices and meaningful in the project number 3. But per your own handoff, the project is currently derived of a weak slug. No authoritative project from recency plus project. Yeah. Recency only, no recency project. No, that's fine. Pretty content with how recency's been handled anyway. Okay, cool. So now how do we actually want to handle the how do we want to handle the structured front runner property on the hub? Cool. So do we want to add a structured front runner property to the generated hub as a forward compatible fitment? No, we actually want to add a minimal front runner, which is recommended. So we emit the project message count, the role counts, the user assistant, and the date range as well. And then for each hub, we want a cheap deterministic render only, which surfaces the user versus the AI balance. And at the index level, let me build the actual filters and bases later with zero generator dependency locked stack intact. So that's what we're going to go for here. And then I think this is pretty much the grill me session done. So we'll see where this lands afterwards. And yeah, I think we should actually be getting pretty close to the session context threshold being hit, and it should automatically trigger the handoff skill very shortly. So cool. So the grill session is now actually complete. Cool. Yeah, so the grill session is definitely completed. We can now actually go ahead and start checking out what Great. So this is now done. So I'm just gonna quickly review where we're at. And then we're gonna peer review this, benchmark it against, and kind of just like a gap analysis. And then yeah, we'll see where we end up with it. So what have we actually achieved from this? We've job node, a navigation exploration, 5 stars pillar, blah blah blah, prototype which we rejected. So we've stress tested that. We've locked in the stack. Sorry, the locked in stack is vindicated. So everything that we've done before is not going to change, and is not constraint to work around. So both modern shortcuts and data view, and the new base plugin were evaluated and rejected. Neither creates graphs or links that we're looking for. And the current best practice for large imported chat vault is actually the architecture that we've got. So we're going to just see what we're going to be doing here. So the prior plan generated a per conversation hub, but no top tree entry point, which is the actual proven best practice for this sort of mock. So the resolved decisions that we've come to, so the primary navigation is to read through the backbone, generate that top level index, and then obviously go through those. We wanted to add role clarity as well, so better role clarity and call outs, section for the targeted embeds, and then the minimal hub for the work that we were doing. So we've got a list of the things that we're actually going to build, what the gate's actually going to look like as well. And then yeah, from there we will be flowing well. Just bear with me a second. Cool. So now from here, what we're actually going to do now is trigger the peer review script. So the peer review skill, and that's going to go off and consult our other agent, do the peer review, and then we will be able to lock this in, do the handover to the next agent, and then from there we'll be able to actually lock in the script, do all of the gating, and then yeah, shall see if this then ends up improving our nodes, our categorization. We'll also want to improve the navigation as well to these, and then the indexing as well. We want better indexing, and the spine for these decisions and nodes should also improve as well. Okay. Like it's all happening. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to run this. Cool. So I'm gonna invoke a new agent now. Cool. So what I'm doing now is invoking a peer review. So I've triggered another that's running. All I'm doing, invoking a peer review, giving it access. So got the work package that we're doing for this slice, on all the decisions that we've actually, and in terms of the frameworks that I'm putting in place, I want to actually peer review each and every single option, and each and every single module that goes in before we actually commit it. And then what I want to actually now be able to see in practice as well is the new branch governance that we've got in place for the Git. Just to make sure that everything is being done on this new branch, because there are a few nuances, and I've had to concede a couple of the cross sections in terms of how the nodes are appearing as well. So I want to make sure that we've got a slice 5 branch that's created after the next handoff, and then from that branch 5 we want to sorry, from the slice 5 branch that gets created, we want to iterate this option. I'll test it in the platform, see what these nodes end up looking like, and if I'm happy with how they appear and how we're able to navigate within them, then cool, I'll lock it. But if I find that, you know, the navigation and the links and the indexing and things like that, the weighting isn't working as well as I want it to, then I can, at least with the new governance that we're setting up, I can then create a new sub branch and iterate the next version. And then, you know, depending on which one works best, I can then commit that back to the master branch that we're working from. And then we can lock down slice 5 and move forward from there. So I just want to quickly run this peer review with my peer reviewing agent, and then we can see what that looks like, see if there's any gaps that have been identified, go from there. So just a quick overview, sees that it's asking for permissions to the code base and the repository. So I'm giving it that, and then we can go through it and then pick up once that's done. just waiting for it to complete the review. The source of truth is split and it generated from the current dirty handoff says that the lock directive. So again, I'm just going to quickly give this 107. So just tell it what that feedback. I just want to see what its thoughts are on this. I'm really annoyed that the cursor did crash halfway through because I've not gotten as much as I wanted to get done completed today, so it's a bit annoying, but yeah, there's always tomorrow. There's always time to build. It is what it is. Semantic H2 confirmed medium. Cool. So it's not just going through this, and this is what I love. Just having a completely independent agent to do the peer review, because it's not got a target of kind of it's not working within the rules of the build or any kind of directive like that. It's completely independent, and all I'm pasting in is the directory or the project directory or the repo, and giving it a task of, just give me a peer review of what this actual plan that I'm about to put in place is going to do within this particular file structure or project structure. And from there, it's able to give me something back that's, again, completely independent. There's no kind of cloudiness, there's no bias in terms of accepting things or trying to approve things so they can get given the next bit of work. All of that is toned completely down. So yeah, so this is the result from the feedback. It's confirmed the high 2, which is a high risk. Number 2, precisely that the reviewer's fix can be improved. The note heading includes the heading line plus everything in the next same higher heading, so that the link, so an uplink before the number related would be weak, but blocked reference, blah 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 blah. So now obviously we've come to another fork in terms of decision. So we want to regrow the medium priority, so the project grouping is meaningless until A1. So we want to see the project slug for each. So the project grouping index produces one group per conversation today. So project equals a conversation name, and then the authoritative number project is deferred to A1. How should the index group now? So recency only, which is recommended. A recency is an activity at the top of the section. Single source bucket. So group everything under one Claude AI export source heading, and then split into, no, I don't want to do that. Accept weak name groups, recency, and group shared recency, but collapse the conversation that genuinely share the project slug into a group. Rest on the group mostly degenerates the recency and only with an extra code. So the first one is okay. Cool. So now I'm just going to quickly review this version. Also, it's gonna quickly sanity check this as well, in the same manner that we've just done everything prior. And then yeah, just give us some feedback on that in the same way. And I'm hoping that a lot of these gaps have been closed now, and then we can do what? We can check. This version closes, so just kind of like an initial thing. This version closes several of the gaps earlier. It demotes the project grouping and adds a no index pin and rule. Line level check is found. One remaining wiring gap. The plan says that the render node emits up, but the current renderer has no hub file name parameter or note hub. So that's an easy gap to close. but again, very key finding. So it's just good to always benchmark. So I'm just going to quickly go back. Nope. Keep planning. At least once this is now locked in, we should be getting close to that context limit as well, if not past it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that system tokens only 19k. Good. Another precise review. Perfect. And then now it's tweaking the plan again, which is good. Perfect. Now we've accepted. Now the plan is being run up. Can obviously move that into the okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. So and as you can see, it also caught itself as well, because I did check the context in the last pass. We're nearly at that 160 mark. So it looked and saw that it was beyond the threshold here. So you can see here. Can you even see that? Yeah. So since the context is past the handoff threshold, I'll capture the state first. So I'll capture state first, and then track the branch, blah, blah, blah. And then it's auto triggered the handoff. It's written the state, and then obviously it's going to create the handoff document for me. And then I can start a new session and call the handoff, and then that can then trigger the work actually being done in a clean context window. Cool, the handoff has been written. It's cleaning up scratch from memory, take the memory, rewrite the steering, blah blah blah. For the human to freeze. Okay, cool. So the memory claims login persisted, but today it was anonymous until I fixed it. Let me correct the actual. What's it doing now? I need to do this. Suppose we're just handing off. Memory roadmap. 5 South is not. Better not be working. Better not be working. But again, that's a project for potentially what day? Thursday now. It's gone into Thursday. That's going to be one of the next projects where we're actually having more of a visual overview of this sort of thing. And I want to build that in so that we're still obviously using, but we're using our own kind of harness. And then we're baking all of this functionality into it, not rebuilding Cursor, but having more of a visual overview so that I'm not just sitting here staring at agents doing their thing one at a time. And essentially here, to be fair, I could have been planning ahead for the next sprint, but because of the amount of hand holding and the amount of ambiguous endpoints that were still having to be researched, there was no point planning a slice 6 concurrently while we hadn't actually locked down any of these decisions in the current slice. So that's why we hadn't done that. Now the final doc. Rewrite the authority. Cool. Allow. Yeah. Fine. I'll put end specification and then write the red purpose. Cool, so I'm just getting it to freeze this. So it's just essentially just putting in I need a governance frequency, right? I need to understand the section arm and override before editing. Yeah, I just want to see what it does. As long as it doesn't start trying to kind of like skip ahead of itself and build in. I just wanted it to arm and freeze or append the spec with what we've agreed in slice 5. Put that into the spec, and then from there we can initiate the handover and then start the build in the next session. Cool, so the handoffs are all done now. Okay, boom. So they hit a governance wall, and it's one worth surfacing precisely because it collides with a preference that you've set before. The blocker, the protector wire, is wired, is wired and live in this session. The session start hook fired, so the hooks are loaded. It hard blocks any agent write or edit to the spec with no override. By design, Claude.md golden rule number 1, and you've explicitly told me before that you want the TDD enforced by the hooks and not bypassed. So you arm it for me, run straight into a hook intentionally built to stop me. I won't quietly bypass something. No. No. Cool. I'm just gonna let it temporarily bypass that, do it, and then yeah, we can move forward from there. And to be fair, with that said, all I'm gonna do here, to be fair, is initiate this handoff, and then I'll pick up the project in the morning. So I'm gonna actually sign out because it's 1:30, and I'm quite tired. I've been streaming since 10. I've got an early start tomorrow. Need to take my daughter to nursery, so I am going to sign out here. I've got my handoff. You chose to / handoff start. Yep, that's fine. Cool. I just want to get all of this. I must measure harness exactly. That's fine. But yeah, thanks for those who tuned in, watched after and whatnot. And yeah, I'll be online tomorrow. Best.